Hello, students. Welcome to our session of the industrial safety. Here, we are having the online session of industrial safety subject. This subject is of the branch of structural engineering and mechanical engineering. And basically, we have already started our sessions regarding industrial safety, and we have already completed some topics. And previously, we had fourth session where we have discussed the various topics which are required in the G2 syllabus, and that was covered. And basically, we are in the module 1. So, yes, we will be proceeding towards our subject. So, further topics will be discussed in today's session. Okay. So, yes, we will be proceeding to our session. So, basically, we are dealing with the silent point of the Factories Act 1948 for the health and safety. Previously, also we had done the some points regarding the Factories Act 1948, where basically health and safety and welfare is basically the main points of the Factories Act. Means basically it is for the development of the workers. Okay, so what are the points that is required are being described in the Factories Act 1948. So in this session, we will be dealing with the health topic in 1948 Factories Act will be discussed in today's session. Yes, so basically the contents are dust and fumes, architectural humidifications, overcrowding, lighting, drinking water, latrine and urinals, spittoons. So these are the contents that is required for the welfare and development and safety of the workers in the industries is being discussed in today's session. Dust and fumes, that is section number 14. In factory in which manufacturing process is carried out, there may be given off any dust or fumes. Means we can say that where the factories where the manufacturing process is being done, there is an obvious thing of occurrence of the dust and fumes because of the working of the furnaces, because of the working of many of the equipments. Smoke will be formed, the dust will be formed because of the manufacturing process. So it is obvious that obviously the dust and the fumes will be formed in a manufacturing industry. Its inhabilitation by workers in any workroom is injurious or offensive to the workers. So that dust fume that is being caused because of the manufacturing of the uh, whatever the requirement is, means because of the manufacturing of the product of the industry, the smoke will be developed, and that smoke is very much injurious to the person who is working over there. So it is injurious and offensive for the employed workers. He should not inhale or he should not come in contact with such kind of harmful gases. So in order to prevent this point of origin of the dust, fumes or the other impurity shall be enclosed as far as possible. This dust should be enclosed as far as possible. So it should not be reaching to the lungs or to the body or to the nose or inhalation to the person or the workers. On the other hand, in many factories, no stationary internal combustion engine shall be operated unless the exhaust is conducted into the open air, and no other internal combustion engine shall be operated in any room unless offensive measures have been taken to prevent such accumulations of the fumes therefrom, as they are likely to be injurious to workers employed in the. So basically, proper precautions is required to be taken so that it should not be harmful to the workers. That point is required to be taken care in section 14, where dust and fumes are discussed. Artificial humidification, section number 15. In respect to all the factories in which the humidity of air is artificially increased, the state government may make rules. The rules that are made by the state government will be First, prescribing standards of humidification. Certain standards is described. Second is regulating the method used for artificially increasing the humidity of the air. And the third is directing prescribed test for determining the humidity of the air to be correctly carried out and recorded. So the whatever the humidity is there in the air, that is required to be recorded, measured. Then next is uh, prescribing method is required to be adopted for securing the adequate ventilation and cooling of the air in the workroom. Proper ventilation is required to be taken, provided. The water used for the purpose shall be taken from the public supply or other source of the drinking water, or shall be effectively purified before it is used. So whatever the water from wherever the source they are taking off, it is required to be purified. Okay. But if the water that is used is not purified, it means some conditions might arrive that that is not availability of the purification system. Then he may serve on the manager the factory in order in writing. Okay, it should be served to the factory manager in writing. Yes, specifying the measures which, in his opinion, should be adopted and requiring them to be carried out before the specified date. So obviously, the water should be taken, some specified opinion should be made so that the water should be purified before before carried out on the specified date. Next is overcrowding, that is in section number 60. The overcrowding affects the workmen not only in the discharge of the duties but also in their health. Means obviously wherever there is an overcrowding, it is very much harmful because it creates congestion, and the it will not create a healthy environment to the workers working in the factory. A worker working space should be 9.9 cubic meter of the space per worker in the workroom before the commencement of this act. After this commencement of this act, the space per worker is 14.2 cubic meter. This what changes have occurred after the commencement of this act. Lightning, that is section number 17 in 1948 Factories Act. The Factories Act make the following provision in this respect. There shall be provided and maintained sufficient and suitable lighting, natural or artificial or both, in every part of the factory. Means there should be proper lightning, luminous in the overall factory. Okay. In every factory, all glazed windows and skylights should be used, and workrooms shall be kept clean on both inner and outer surface. In every factory, effective provisions, so as far as practicable, be made for the prevention of the glare, either directly from the source of light or by reflection from smooth or polished. The state government prescribed the standard of sufficient and suitable lighting for the factories of any class of description of factories or for any manufacturing process. So these are all the things that is required to be made. There should be proper lighting, luminous in the area of the factory. Then there should be properly glazed and skylights. Such kind of windows is required to be provided so that the natural light can be utilized. Then effective provision should be made. Means prevention of the glare should be made. Glare should not be come into the glare should there should not be any kind of glare in the industry. Okay. So these are sufficient rules that is required for the proper lighting in the factory. So these are all the terms that is required to the health is given in the uh, Factories Act 1940. Thank you for attending the session. I will be meeting you in the next session. Thank you.